why are scales so important? Scales are the actual notes from the key signature, all right, from the key. If you haven't watched the video on keys yet, I'll put a link up here in the cards, all right? It'll appear somewhere at the top, possibly over there somewhere, all right? So for example, if we say we're in the key of G major, right? Put my key signature. That means that there are certain notes that go along with that key. In this case, G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, and G again, okay? So everything that we do with music, all the notes that we put down on the page, that we play together, that we improvise, come from the key. Again, go watch the video, all right, that I linked up there just a second ago about what it means to be in a key. What does that mean? Okay, so then the scale is the actual notes from the key. So when I go to build a triad, say I'm going to build a triad, okay, on G, okay, in this case, the 1 chord. That means I'm going to pull in the 3rd, and I'm going to pull in the 5th. But I can't just do any note that I want, right? What I want is the notes from this key signature, meaning that if I'm going to use this and this, I got to put a B natural and a D. Yes, that's very, very important, right? And this makes up my 1 chord. Same when I go to make my 5 chord, the other really, really important, or just as important as 1. There is no 1 without the 5, okay? And so I go and I need to pull in an A, okay? This note is going to come over here. And also this F sharp, right? It isn't F natural because it's from the scale, from the key, right? So this F sharp over here comes over here, and that's how I get my 5 chord, D, F sharp, and A. So everything that I do, okay, all of these harmonies, whatever melody I have on top, comes from this building out this tonality based on the notes from the scale. Same if I built, let me put this back, same if I built the minor chord, all right, I got to pull in a C, I got to pull in an E, all these triads. So that becomes C natural and E natural, which A, C, and E create a minor triad, which is what makes the 2 chord minor. Okay, it is the scale, it is the actual notes from the key. Whoops, I erased my key signature by accident. So this is 3 for that reason. Okay, or this is minor, this is major, this is minor. This, in its natural form, is diminished because it's F sharp to A, which is a minor 3rd, and then to C, which is another minor 3rd. So the 7th chord becomes diminished, and then this is 1 again. It's because if I just use the notes from the scale, this is the quality that I get. I'm actually going to leave that as is. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change the key. Let's go to D major. Let's change all this down here. Okay. I'm going to put D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D. Let's put a key signature over here. Okay. So now this note is sharp and this note is sharp. Okay. Understand? All right. Now, again, if I build a triad D, F, A in the key, yes, then I'm pulling in this F sharp from the scale, and I'm pulling in this A from the scale over here. And that's how I get the D chord. Put my notes under here. Okay. If I am building a 5 chord again, then I get A, C sharp, and E. This One more time. This guy down here stays exactly the same. Major 1, minor 2, minor 3, major 4, major 5, minor 6, diminished 7, and major 1, because that's how they turn out when we just use the notes of the scale. So when I build it up like this, right, I have D, F sharp A, E, G, B, which is a minor 2, F sharp A, C, minor 3, I'm sorry, F sharp A, C sharp, excuse me, that's why it's minor 3, it's not diminished. And then G, B, D is major, A, C sharp, E, B, D, F sharp makes it a minor 6, and then C sharp, E, G, all minor thirds, that equals diminished 7. So everything that we do, all the notes that we're dealing with come because we know the notes of the scale. And this is the primary reason that scales are so important to what we do, because they are the thing. So you got to know what key you're in. Yes, key names. Remember, watch that video if you haven't yet. And then the scale is the actual notes from the key that we are dealing with, okay? Now, there are different kinds of scales. This is the major scale. There's, of course, the minor scale. Since we're in D major here, let's just, all right, let's go with a different clef. Do a little practice with bass clef here. So let's go same key signature, F sharp and C sharp. It's in a different spot because we're in bass clef. Let's do the minor scale. So if I say I'm in B minor, which is relative to D, which is why I chose this one. So I got B, C sharp, D, E, F sharp, G, A, and B. Remember, I'm in B minor, so now the quality of my chords changes, right? If I just write out triads, remember, I'm pulling from the scale, okay? It's going to change some. So now I have B, D, F sharp. So remember, I'm in minor, so my one chord is now minor. C sharp, E, G, all minor thirds. That means the 2 chord in this case is diminished. That's that little circle there. Okay. The reason I keep putting it is the circle. Where to put that? The little circle up there equals diminished. Okay, abbreviated DIM. The 3 chord D, F sharp, A now becomes major. E, G, B, minor. F sharp, A, C sharp is minor. We'll talk about that in a second. Okay. G, B, D, 6 chord, messed up my Roman numeral there. Is the 6 chord is also major. A, C sharp, E, this is also the 7 chord becomes major, and then this of course is minor 1 again. So you still just have the 1 diminished chord. Okay, it's almost like everything is opposite. Yes, the 3 chord is major, the 6 chord is major, the 7 chord is major, and the 4 and the 5 are minor. Now, in Western harmony, to have the strong pull of the 5 to the 1, this is why we end up with the variations on the minor scale in the key, because you have to have a leading tone to really establish the key. This A has to become A sharp, and that's that leading tone, right? Leading into the B, that raised 7th scale degree, which you've probably heard some terms like harmonic minor and melodic minor. Usually you have melodic minor, but the most important one is this leading tone, okay, the A sharp, so that it gets added back to the 5 chord so that this becomes major, which is a much stronger pull to the 1 chord. It helps establish the key. So no matter whether you're in major or minor, you have to have a major 5. So not always. Rules are always made to be broken. But so let's go B minor. We have, there's my B minor chord. And there's my major 5, right? F sharp, A sharp, C sharp to the, right? I don't have, I mean, it sounds cool, all right? It's not without its charm. Somebody can leave a comment down below, but okay, in most classical music, again, rules are made to be broken. There really are no rules. There are rules and then there aren't rules, but that's for a later video. But when you first start out, learn to include the leading tone in your music, right? And that's why I raise it. Then, of course, we also have melodic minor, which is where we're going to raise. Whoops, I'm running out of room here. Which is where we're also going to raise the 6th scale degree. And that's how we end up with melodic minor scales, okay? And again, the G sharp here, so that we end up, I think it's so that we end up with this major 4, right? So that we can add that back in to our scale. And of course, we lower those coming back down. I think the reason we raise them, okay, how do these ever get started? How do these ever become the form that they are? It's because of the leading tone, okay? The A sharp into the B, the leading tone, that half step, pulling us in. Okay, if it's all whole steps, it's not as strong as leading us up there to that B to establish the key. Yes? Now, if you're a guitarist, or otherwise, really, what are some other scales? Let's just do one other really important scale, and that is, let's go back, because this is a popular one. Let's go back to our treble clef as well. Let's go back to G major and talk about a very, very famous scale. The other reason scales are important is for melodies. And this one is called the pentatonic. Well, I left one out. The pentatonic scale, just like it sounds. Pentatonic scale. Why is this scale so important? This is the one you hear. This is the foundation for improvisation, for playing guitar solos, and it's called a pentatonic scale because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 notes in the scale. Yes, right, because this is just 1 again, right? This is just the G. So it's the first note, the second note, the third note. Okay, whoops, I wrote the numbers wrong. Okay, well, there's 5 notes in the scale. That's why I wrote that. But this, if I was numbering my scale degrees, is actually the 5th scale degree and the 6th scale degree. Notice there is no 4th scale degree, and there is no leading tone. I sat there and told you they're all about leading tones, except that in pentatonic scales, we don't have them, right? This is what gives pentatonic scales their famous flavor. You know a famous tune based on a pentatonic scale. I'll play it for you here. That, of course, is Amazing Grace. You're going to notice something there in Amazing Grace. You're going to notice the absence of the 4th, yeah, the C. There's no C natural in that melody, and there's no F sharp in that melody. Not at all. It's not there. You don't see it, okay? Maybe watch it back again so that you can see that this note, okay, and this note don't get played, okay? You won't hear them. You only hear this one, the 5th, the 6th, the 1, the 2, the 3, and the 5. Yes, 5 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Or if you want to call them by their scale degrees, it's scale degree 5, scale degree 6, scale degree 1, 2, 3, and over here, 5 again. Yes? And this is a pentatonic scale. It's very folk sounding, all right? Another famous melody here that you might recognize that uses a pentatonic scale. Now notice, yes, you all know that one, yes. Notice there is a C in there, but it's almost like it's an ornament. It's a little flourish to add a little color to the melody. And I also mentioned that pentatonic scale is important for improvisation. So if I just hold down a G chord here, I'm just going to do the G and the B. And then I can also, if I want to do a D pentatonic scale, again, remember 1, 2, 3, and then 6 again. Notice I'm using the same scale degrees, right? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and 1 again. And then I go back to G. And those notes always work with those chords, which is why they're so important in solos. And that is all about scales. They are the things, they are the notes from the key that we are playing. We're building everything off those actual notes from the key. Now remember, if you didn't go watch the video about keys, I'll put it right here for you. Yes, you can go and check that out. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.